father found out I was thugging, do you believe me when I tell you you the one I'm loving? Are you mad cause I'm asking you 21 questions? Are you my soulmate? Cause if so, girl, you a blessing. Do you trust me enough to tell me your dreams? I'm staring at you trying to figure how you got in them jeans. If I was down, would you say things to make me smile? I treat you how you wanna be treated, just teach me how. If I was with some other chick and someone happened to see, and when you asked me about it, I said it wasn't me, would you believe me or up and leave me? How deep is our bond if that's all it takes for you to be gone? We only humans, girl, we make mistakes to make it up, I do whatever it takes. I love you like a fat kid love cake. You know my style, I say anything to make you smile.
My voice, our gender. How y'all doing, my people? Yes, yes. Let's get this money. Let's talk about some real stuff today. Talk about some real stuff today. I'm on it. I'm on it, baby, baby. I'll give all thanks to God right now. Always give thanks to God. I'm blessed, fellas. I'm blessed, ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm blessed. I'm able to sit here through the grace of God, the almighty, merciful God, to reach out to my people to give y'all some more content. Thank you, Lord. Listen, I don't know what type of person you are. If you are a person that's filled with hope, ain't nothing wrong with that. If you are a person that make moves, you are a decision maker, it ain't nothing wrong with that. But please know the difference. Because a person that hopes, that's always hoping, is optimistic, right? You have this optimist thing about you. You're an individual that focuses on the possibility and believes in a positive future. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you're often seeing challenges as opportunity. That's a hopeful person. You hoping things change. You focusing on the possibilities. But when you are a person that decides, you're a decision maker who is grinding, that's active, that takes action and simply have the ability to make firm choices. Like you are implying in a sense of control. Like you put all your motivation and perseverance on the table and you make it happen. You are a decision maker. You know, you have no problem providing direction and action. And I may have dragged that on, but I just wanted to be very precise on what I mean when I say it's nothing wrong with being hopeful. But when you are a decision maker and you are putting things to action, let me give you an example. For a long time, I was hoping to be a writer when I was growing up. I always had it in the back of my mind, but I wasn't making moves. I wasn't making those necessary decisions to make it come true. But once I started making decisions on, okay, this is the step I'm going to take, this is the step I'm going to take, I started putting that blueprint. That's the decision I made. I started putting action to my thoughts. I started putting action into what I believed in. I turned my hope into a live thing. My hope became reality. So there's nothing wrong with hoping, but once you decide to put things into action, that's how you get things done. You don't get things done that are always hoping. You want to evolve as a person, you have to become a decision maker. You want to be a person of growth and accomplishment and achievement. You have to put that hope and turn it into action. So you have to start making those decisions. That's life. And you have to pass that down to your children. And you have to lead by example when it comes to that. So my question to my listeners, are you a person that's filled with hope or are you a decision maker? I just want to know. It's very interesting. I meet a lot of people um, that always talk about, I hope to do this and I hope to do that. And I always tell them, you know, those are your possibilities because that's what you hope. And it's a positive thing. It's a positive future thought. Um, and it's optimistic. It's nothing negative about hoping. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing that a lot of us have hope because that means you have a vision. The only difference is you have to make that hope and that vision a reality. No matter what you're doing in life. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather, at this point in my life, I'm more of a decision maker. I don't, I'm past that hope stage. You know what I'm saying? I like to make choices. Like I said before, life is what you make it. I did a previous video about that. But that all comes through making choices and taking action. Being decisive and being firm in my choices um, is give me the ability to um, make those choices and stick by them and stand by them. And I consider it. I've always said there's two people in this world, right? Either you're gonna be a leader or you're gonna be a follower. Either you're gonna be a leader or you're gonna be a follower. And a person that decides, not hope, a person that decides is a leader. Because a leader analyzes this thing. He analyzes the situation and you make that firm decision and you move forward with it full speed. You move forward. It's a plan that you put in place and you already have the A's, the B's, the C's, everything is in place because you made that decision. You are a leader of your life. Now, I'm not saying that leaders don't hope because Martin Luther King, keep hope alive and keep hope alive. A lot of hope went into the civil rights movement. A lot of hope went into those that were trying to free themselves from oppression. A lot of hope. But once them leaders put them boots on the ground and start making those decisions and making things happen, this is why I'm here today. I'm able to speak freely because of the decisions that they made. They went from hoping to making decisive decisions. And that's what you have to do in your life. However you may be, if you are a person that hope, it's nothing wrong with that. But at some point, you have to flip that. And you have to start analyzing your life situation. I don't know what you got going on. I don't know what your plans are. But I'm quite sure when you were younger, you had a lot of hope to be in who you want to be in life. If you was in grade school and you was hoping to be a doctor, you had to make a decision on what steps you had to make to get to that point. If you wanted to be a stripper, nah, there ain't gonna be no stripper. You can keep hoping, there ain't nothing to decide. You want to be a fireman, you want to be a police officer, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a farmer. We need more farmers out here. We need land. We need to make that decision on being unified within our community and be self-dependent on ourselves. That's why I love Trump. In that last video, I said I was going to talk about Trump. Thank you, Trump, for really doing what you're doing. Not that I like what you're doing, but I thank you for what you're doing. And what do I mean by that? It's forcing us to decide. We can't hope that a government give us food stamps, give us a SNAP program. I'm glad he's doing that because it forces us to wake up, to realize how much of a piece of shit he is, right? It forces us to look at ourselves, to understand that we have a two-party system, the Democratic and the Republican parties, and neither one of them give a damn about us. But Trump is making all these decisions, putting military on our streets, taking away food stamps, messing with our health care. Everything that he's doing in our everyday life, it wakes you up. It forces you to love your neighbor. It forces you to understand the laws of America. Because a lot of us didn't pay attention to everything that was going on until he got to 34 counts. He's a convicted felon. In my world, if you were a convicted felon, you can't even vote. But he can become a president. But things like that get you to wake up to understand the laws. You're paying attention to welfare. You're paying attention to the health. You're paying attention to the military. You're paying attention to immigration, with this Charlie Kirk situation and how Trump all over his wife and you know so many things that you wouldn't have paid attention if Kamala Harris was in office. She probably wouldn't give you all this chaos. She probably would have been doing the same thing, but quietly. I don't know. But he's upfront and personal. He's on TV. He tells you he don't like you. He tell you this is what I want to do. And it forces you to reflect on you and yourself. So thank you, Trump, in that aspect. It forces you to stop hoping and making decisions in your personal life so you can thrive in the dark element, the dark world. Thank you, Trump, for helping me decide that I don't want to have to be dealing with certain people because how they feel about you, how they recognize that you are their savior. I don't want to deal with people like that. But thank you for letting me see the real people that's around me, that were around me, that I can eliminate them. Because if your mindset is okay with Trump feeding Israel money and weapons to annihilate a whole group of people in Gaza, if you okay with that, not Netanyahu and Israeli prime minister, I want to focus on the fact that we have an American president that is giving money to kill human beings, giving weapons to kill human beings, annihilating them. But it gives you that window that's open where you can see clearly of what's going on around you. If Trump wasn't in office, we would still be blind. Because politicians are sneaky. They do things behind closed doors and we will never know. He is up front. He's telling you what it is about. He can't run for office no more. So he don't care. This is what I'm going to do to y'all. And I'm going to give y'all time to prepare yourself. I'm going to take all that hope away and force y'all to decide what y'all going to be as a community, as a people. Do you want to hope? Or you want to be a decision maker? Y'all let me know. Leave a comment. I'm not going to drag this on either. Thank you, Trump. Because I'm making a lot of decisions in my life because of you. Maybe I was going to make those decisions regardless, but it's forcing me to do things to protect myself, to protect my family. It's forcing me to use my mind, to go back and read certain books, to go back and try to understand what this means and try to understand what that means, why this is going on. I didn't hope to try to figure it out. I decided that I needed to take the necessary steps to find out for myself. So again, thank you, Trump. You're a piece of shit. But at the end of the day, you open my eyes. Nobody should be comfortable right now. Nobody should be sitting in this chair like laid back. You know, life is good. There's a lot of things happening. The Caribbean, Jamaica, the hurricane, the big question mark on there. Big question mark. It's a lot of unexplained events that's happening, that continue to happen. I want y'all to look up this thing called 2030. They were talking about it at the UN in New York years ago. Me and a guy named Delroy were talking about that. A co-worker of mine was talking about that probably like 2 years ago. And now we're coming to reality, that 2030. But I didn't hope to wait till that day to come to try to figure it out. I decided to research it. The difference between hoping and making decisions and becoming a decision maker. And I looked it up and I'm paying attention to what's going on every day. And it's leading us right to that 2030 situation. That's a whole nother video that I'll talk about. But I'm just giving you an example of how it's okay to hope, but it's even better to be a decision maker in your life. For the young guys that's growing up, or young ladies that's growing up, you know, you don't want to hope to be somebody. You're going to make those necessary steps. You're going to make decisions to get to that point where you want to be in life. You have adults that haven't been making great decisions in their life. They've been relying on SNAP program and you know, relying on food stamps. You know, it just shows you that you can't rely on nothing. You can't depend on nothing. You can't hope on December 1st. All these people that was hoping in October and September and hoping for November 1st that they would get their food stamp, they were hoping, while those people in Washington were deciding. They was making decisions not to give it to you. Now that you know that they are in control of your food, They are in control of your health care. They are in control of everything that you are dependent on them to do. They are in control. Now that you know that, are you going to make better decisions in your life? Are you going to, from November 1st to December 1st, you have to make changes in your life? You can't hope on December 1st that your food stamp going to be there. You can't hope. So you better make some decisions to prepare yourself for another dark month. That's just how it goes. That's why I thank Trump. Because if it wasn't for this shutdown, if it wasn't for Trump administration, if it wasn't for Congress and everything that's going on, we wouldn't even know. A lot of people don't even follow politics. They didn't even know what a shutdown was. They didn't know that some military people wasn't getting paid. They didn't know that it affects air traffic control. If it wasn't for Trump being in office, we wouldn't be educated by a lot of these things. Thank you, Trump. This is why I keep saying thank you, Trump. It's not a positive thing. It's being sarcastic, but it's to understand that he is waking us up to know a lot of things that we should have known anyway. Knowing the branches of government, we were taught that in school. We just didn't think we would have to implement that in our everyday life. He's forcing us to have to learn about that, to educate us about that. So you have to decide, be a decision maker from this point forward if you're going to learn about what you have to deal with on the everyday life. Who controls you? Are you putting things in place? Are you making decisions to put things in place so you don't have to deal with the shutdown anymore? It shouldn't affect your life anymore. And that's not for everybody because no matter what, it's going to affect them. Because, like I said before, when it came down to food stamps in my other video, the elderly, the disability, and stuff like that, they can't control it. But everybody else, y'all have to decide how y'all going to move forward in this country. I'm not going to drag this video on. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all share this video, like, comment, and subscribe. My voice, our agenda. I have a different quote that I want to leave y'all with. It's always integrity is everything. Either you have it if you don't. But it's one thing for sure. Death is definite. It's guaranteed. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. Once y'all go out there and live your life, everybody should live your life, no matter what. Don't pause. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. Integrity is everything. Either you have it or you don't. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives. God bless y'all. My voice, our agenda. I'll be seeing y'all again. I'm out.